you will love your neighbors. Lynn, you don't know my neighbors. I don't need to. My father taught me a long time ago. When you went into that prison on Wednesday nights, Friday nights, a room full of 50 men, they were the one that taught me to hug. Those guys, all they have time to do is lift weights. And when they hugged me, I was praying a lot. When they wrapped their arms around me, you knew if they got angry with you, your life was going to end. When I went in there and realized these men were showing love to me, all they knew, I was Brother Bill's son. And to them, my dad, Brother Bill, was God on earth. He could go in those prisons for 42 years, and they'd have the worst criminal in there, and they'd take Dad in the wheelchair down through all those 11 sets of gates, down to solitary confinement. And inside that cell was a man that had killed his mother, that had done things that I don't even want to describe here in God's house. But my father would be going inside that cell with that man, not even concerned about what he did in the past. He just went in and shared Jesus with him. And when he come out of there, he had a friend. And then they'd come to his Friday night classes after a month of solitary confinement. And they'd come over and hug me. And I'd ask Dad on the way home, I said, that new guy, what's he in for? Son, what did I tell you? But Dad, he hugged me. I just want to know. Son, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just look away from him. He's driving the truck we're going to the prison in. I just look out the window. I'm going, Lord, help me to understand this. I thought as long as you hugged people that were safe to hug, you'd be protected from God, by God. As long as you didn't hug people that were unsafe, Dad says, when you walk into that prison, Jesus says, whatever you've done to the least one in prison. Friends, when you love God, you're going to have moments in your life where you go, oh, help me, Jesus. Because it's not easy to live on planet Earth and to be plugged into God. As we continue on this journey of the gospel message, I'll tell you in advance, you're going to have challenging moments. Because I am. And the devil has really turned up the heat in the last week. Because everyone that comes to grips with the true gospel of Jesus Christ, the devil is going to come in your path and wipe out everything that he can, that God allows him to, for one reason, to take your focus off the gospel, because the power is in the gospel. The love of God is the difference. If the Sabbath doesn't make you more godly, more lovable, and more loving to others, then the Sabbath is a curse instead of a blessing. If you go home after the Sabbath and you have a member of your family on your mind that you haven't talked to, and God impresses you with that name, and you know that God is calling you to call them, and if you don't do it, then the Sabbath has not been a blessing to you. You are in God's house, yes or no? And when you're in God's house, you're in God's presence, yes or no? It's awfully quiet in here. When you're in God's presence, He will reveal how He loves us so much that He can't leave us like we are. Paul says the power is in the gospel. What do you mean, Paul? I left everything. Well, what do you mean, Paul? I lost my job. I have no income now. I'm not going out as the general on the religious force, the army's leader, setting wrongs right in the name of God anymore. I am a follower of Jesus who was nailed on the cross. You lose it all when you stand for Jesus. But I can do all things through Christ. I can do all things. As the music team comes forward, I challenge you, friends. God is still alive and well. There is a blessing in keeping the Sabbath, but the Sabbath should never take us away from God. The Sabbath should draw us closer.
Let's stand as we sing our closing song, Cornerstone.